पावन अभय अवतार श्यामा
श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, and welcome to the Wednesday night ecstasy program of Chaitanya Charitamrita reading and discussion with the Prabhupada Disciples Association and the Hare Krishna Society. We work together as one group, and we promote the legacy of Srila Prabhupada in an unedited, unchanged version. Yes, because that preserves the potency of Prabhupada's words. And once you change the words, it affects the reader or the hearer. Because Prabhupada lives Vijaya Pandit in his Vani incarnation. Now, someone may not understand that. They probably don't understand what incarnation is, first of all. They're so confused. This Kali Yuga is a society filled with less intelligent people, foolish. They don't know. But Prabhupada appeared Vani, sound incarnation. And this is the essence of this presentation. Unadulterated, unchanged, unedited. The pure sound. And some people are looking for it. A few on this planet, not very many. I went to University of Guelph, Yashodanandana Prabhu, and I studied politics and economics. Oh yeah. And I researched the United Nations when I was at university. And what happened was there was a person that came to the university. I still remember going to the lecture theater. His name was Buckminster Fuller. He was a famous philosopher back then. He's passed away a long time ago. He was an old man back there then. But he spoke on a theme which is called Small is Beautiful. Small is beautiful. And that's what I do when I see our beautiful group here. Small, it's not big. We're hoping more people would be interested, but it appears that people in general don't have the time. They're not interested. They're not serious about taking some time for their spiritual well-being. They don't. And that's just the reality of it. When you have a priority, whatever it might be, of course, if we were paying them, they'd probably show up. Here, there's $25 per attendee. We'll send you the money in the mail. Oh, really? Every week? Yeah, you'll get $75 a week to come to the class. Everybody go, oh, I think we'll have hundreds of people here because we're paying them. No, the price is your own personal desire. And that brings me to the point here this evening of our initiation ceremony. That initiation is taking place on the 20th of September, and we're very excited for the new people that are deciding to commit themselves to Srila Prabhupada's service. Remember, I constantly remind everyone, initiation takes place in the heart of the person that wants to start this process, because initiation formally is a beginning. And then you go your whole life carrying out the orders of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is at the center of this mission. No one else. And for that reason, we want to congratulate these people for stepping up, and thank you very much for your own determination to take up this process of Krishna consciousness and help us with this mission. Because it's not simply a fire sacrifice, Vijaya Pandit, where you put bananas in the fire and you chant swaha, and these are all good things. They're formal. And they confirm to the group that you're committed. Group confirmation is also very valuable. And Prabhupada introduced this for us because he understood how serious the relationship between guru and disciple is. Right, Vijaya Pandit? You understand it. It's not that I'm explaining it to you, it's you understand it. And we celebrate all of the people that are taking this up for their unique understanding, then personal understanding of the real purpose of life, not sophisticated dogs and cats. I went today down to Yodapek, Yashodanandana Prabhu. I brought my barber a couple of presents. He wasn't there, but there was another guy there, a young man, 23. So guess what, everyone? He goes, well, what do you do? I said, well, I'm a bhakti yoga teacher. He goes, really? I said, oh yeah, I teach this philosophy to other people. I practice it myself. I said, most people, they're interested only in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. He goes, really? I said, yeah. And we live in the city of 9 gates. I explained about the soul. I gave him a 10-minute, I didn't have any books with me, Prabhu, sorry. Because I was just going down. I'll be back. I told him, I'll be back. I sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll be back. But I will be back to see him and the barber. I'll be back to see them because we're cultivating them as friends. And I'll bring them prasadam and step by step go forward. But I explained to him that if you only practice eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, he looked at me, you're nothing but a sophisticated animal. Oh, I never thought about that. Well, it's a fact. You're nothing but an animal. Oh, well, don't say that. He didn't say that to me. Actually, he was 23. He was very interested because he had never heard philosophy before, any truth about life, nothing. Just like many people we meet on the streets. We explain. If I get a chance, I'll explain to them our philosophy in a nutshell. Oh yes, I will. And I'll tell them the truth because we are the ambassadors of truth. And all of us know that that's our job, to preach to others. We can preach to each other if you want. But more important, we're already convinced, some of us anyway. Some aren't. Some are still confused. Look at these God brothers and God sisters we invite to come to our program, and nobody shows up. Nobody. We have up to 40 people that attend the class on the weekend, and we have 4 Prabhupada disciples here that were originally initiated by Prabhupada, Mother Ruchisha, Ram Raghava, Yashodanandana, and myself. That's how interested our God brothers are. They're not interested. I find it very interesting to hear Yashoda speak, to hear the chants and mantras, all the different sections of our program that we've brought forward. And we're going to go to the next section. My friend Ram Raghava, who's such a good devotee, and compliments to you, Prabhu, you're just amazing. We're going to go to a section from Nectar of Instruction today, because I think it's important for people to understand the difference between a karmi and devotee and how, let's go to the beginning of the verse and then we'll go to this section. There's 2 sections I want to read from this, but let's read the first. This is how you conduct yourself with God brothers and God sisters. Offer gifts in charity, accept charitable gifts, reveal one's mind in confidence, inquire confidentially, accept prasadam, and offering prasadam are the 6 symptoms of love shared by one devotee and another. In this verse, Prabhupada says, Srila Rupa Goswami explains how to perform devotional activities in association of other devotees. And by the way, Prabhus, a devotee is very rare in this universe. Like I said, we're conducting this program and the demigods are coming here to hear it because we're presenting Prabhupada's truth as his ambassadors. We're not just ordinary people that got up yesterday and look at the wall and say, what am I doing today? I think I go to work. Yeah, okay, go to work. That's not a harm. That's the job. Everybody works. Offering gifts. Srila Rupa, this verse, Rupa Goswami explains how to perform devotional activities in the association of other devotees. There are 6 kinds of activities. Giving in charity to the devotees. Really? Giving in charity to our own God brothers and God sisters? Accepting from the devotees whatever they may offer in return. Yes, we will do that. Opening one's mind to the devotees. That's important. Some people have trouble with the mind. And if they have a chance to speak to another devotee who is more experienced, who has a different understanding of the philosophy than they do, then they can take advice from them because these devotees care about you. Inquiring from them about the confidential service of the Lord. A lot of people want to know what to do. Well, call us up, despite the fact, and this is not a fault, this is a fact, that people don't. Nobody steps up. Out of so many billions of people on this planet, how many people are interested? Many are called, few are chosen. Honoring prasadam, or spiritual food given by the devotees. That's also very wonderful. And we always do that. And devotees are good enjoyers of prasadam, I know it. Feeding the devotees with prasad, an experienced devotee explains, and an inexperienced devotee learns from him. This is association. This is what we cultivated in the temples. A lot of you haven't lived in a temple, or you never had this experience. But we based our association on dealing with each other with etiquette and respect. No fault finding. I can't stand fault finders. No. We don't fault find, we fact find. An experienced devotee explains, and this is called Guyam Akhati Prichati. When, go ahead. When a devotee distributes prasadam, remnants of food offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in order to maintain our spirit of devotion, we must accept this prasadam as the Lord's grace received from the pure devotees. Prabhupada's using those terms. We should also invite pure devotees to our home, offer them prasad, and then be prepared to please them in all respects. This is called bhukti bhojate chaiva. Even these ordinary social activities, these 6 types of dealings between 2 loving friends are absolutely necessary. Be careful. For instance, when one businessman wishes to contact another businessman, he arranges a feast in a hotel. My son does that all the time. And the feast openly expresses what he wishes to do. He then inquires from his business friend how he should act. And sometimes presents are exchanged. This is called rapport building, by the way. Thus, whenever there is a dealing of priti or love, in intimate dealings, these 6 activities are executed. In the previous verse, Srila Rupa Goswami advised that one should renounce worldly association. Oh, yes. And keep company with devotees. Sangat, Tyagat, Sato Briti. And here he says, back then, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness has been established to facilitate these 6 kinds of loving exchanges between devotees. Here's the focus. Not fault-finding, fact-finding, according to Shastra. This society was started single-handedly by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. But because people are coming forward and dealing with the give-and-take policy, the society is now expanding all over the world. We are glad that people are donating very liberally to the development of the society's activities, and people are also eagerly accepting whatever humble contribution we are giving them in the shape of books and magazines dealing strictly with the subject matter of Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada's training us how to be men and women with class and dignity, not loudmouths. We sometimes hold Hare Krishna festivals, invite life members and friends to participate in the feasting by accepting prasadam. Although most of our members come from the higher rungs of society, they nevertheless come and take whatever little prasadam we are able to offer them. That's beautiful. Look how Prabhupada's explaining how his membership is developing in his books. Sometimes the members and supporters inquire very confidentially about the methods of performing devotional service, and we try to explain this. In this way, our society is successfully spreading all over the world, and the intelligentsia of all countries is gradually appreciating our Krishna conscious activities. Okay, now we're going to go ahead to the next section, Yashodanandana Prabhu, because this is an important section in this particular verse where Bhakti Siddhanta talks about Mayavadis. Go ahead, Ram Raghava. Go to that. In this regard, there are some people that associate with Mayavadis that are claiming to be Vaishnava. And Yashoda may want to elaborate on it during his presentation. But I'm going to simply read what Prabhupada has written. You can concoct whatever you want in your mind because I'm saying it. You can even turn me off if you want. But I'm reading Bhakti Siddhanta's words. In this regard, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur warns all devotees engaged in broadcasting the Krishna consciousness movement not to speak to the impersonalist Mayavadis who are always determined to oppose such theistic movements. The world is full of Mayavadis and atheists, and the political parties of the world take advantage of Mayavada and other atheistic philosophies to promote materialism. And that all parties do that. Liberals, conservatives, and the other parties in other countries. Remember, I'm in Canada. Sometimes they even back a strong party to oppose the Krishna consciousness movement. The Mayavadis and other atheists do not want the Krishna consciousness movement to develop because it educates people in God consciousness. Such is the policy of the atheists. There is no benefit in feeding a snake milk and bananas because the snake will never be satisfied. On the contrary, by taking milk and bananas, the snake simply becomes more poisonous. Kevalam, Visha, Vardhanam. If a snake is given milk to drink, its poison simply increases. For a similar reason, we should not disclose our minds to the serpent Mayavadis and Karmis. Such disclosures will never help. It is best to avoid association with them completely. Is that sort of half or 90% or 80%, dear Arochisha Devi? Is it sort of? Or is Prabhupada say, avoid their association? Actually, avoid people. You should avoid a lot of people that are negative to you. Never ask them any confidential because they cannot give a good advice. Nor should we extend invitations to Mayavadis and atheists, nor accept their invitations. And that's going on with our God brothers and God sisters in Mass all over the world. Oh, yes, it is. And maybe Vinay could tell us more lately about what's going on in Bangalore. but for such intimate intermingling, we may become affected by their atheistic mentality, sangat, sanjayate kama. It is the negative injunction of this verse that we should refrain from giving anything to or accepting, giving anything or to accepting anything from the Mayavadis and atheists. Wow. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also warned, Visha ira ana kali dusta koya mana. By eating food prepared by worldly people, one's mind becomes wicked. Unless one is very advanced, he is unable to utilize everyone's contribution to further the Krishna consciousness movement. Therefore, on principle, one should not accept charity from the Mayavadis or atheists. Let's see anything else there. Indeed, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has forbidden devotees to associate with ordinary men who are too addicted to material sense gratification. And you figure them out when they speak. That's how you do. The conclusion is that we should always keep company with devotees, like all of us, observe the regulative devotional principles, like all of us, follow in the footsteps of the Ācāryas, which is what we're doing, and in full obedience carry out the orders of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Now, it's interesting to note, Yashoda, that Prabhupada doesn't mention his name in these books. He was still present with us. But now we can insert that. In this way, we shall be able to develop our devotional service and dormant Krishna consciousness. The devotee who is neither a neophyte nor a Mahabhagwat, a greatly advanced devotee, but is within the middle status of devotional service, is expected to love the Supreme Personality of Godhead, make friends with the devotees, show favor to the ignorant, and reject the jealous and the demoniac. Oh yes. In this verse, there is a brief mention of the process of making loving transactions with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and making friends with the devotees. According to the Dadati principle, an advanced devotee is supposed to spend at least 50% of his income on the service of the Lord and His devotees. Srila Rupa Goswami has set such an example in his life. Yes, of course, he had millions of dollars and he gave it all away. Krishna's service and 25% to he distributed 50% of his life's earnings to Krishna's service, 25% to his relatives, and kept 25% for personal emergencies. This example should be followed by all devotees. That's a high standard. Whenever one's income, 50% should be spent on half of Krishna and his devotees, and this will fulfill the demands of Dadati. In this verse, Rupa Goswami informs us what kind of Vaishnava should be selected as a friend and how Vaishnavas should be served. We're going to end there. Thank you. Oh, excuse me. We got to the end. Fascinating, eh? Rupa Goswami. To hear the truth, unadulterated, unedited, unchanged, and then try to absorb it into our meager little minds. We're tiny little specks in the universe, but we think we're important. Death can come at any moment, so we should guard against causing offenses on any level to any living entity and tell the truth always. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. We're going to move forward with our next section of the program, which is a speech by Srila Prabhupada. And what's the name of the speech, Ram Raghava?
This is an excerpt from a lecture in London in 1973.
Oh.
It's called To Understand Krishna, One Requires Special Senses.
Haribol. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Advaita
Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam. So, this sympathy is like Arjun's sympathy. The sympathy now in this state is sympathizing with the murderer, not to be killed. This is Arjun, that is Hridayadaurballa. That is not duty. One has to discharge the duty ordered by the superior authority very strictly, without any consideration. So these are weakness of the heart, this kind of sympathy. But ordinary person will not understand. Therefore, to understand Krishna, one requires special senses. Special senses, not ordinary senses. Special senses means you have to pluck your eyes and you have to put another eye. No, you have to purify. Tatparatena nirmalam. Just like if you have got some disease in the eyes, you apply medicine. And when it is clear, you can see clearly everything. Similarly, with these blunt senses, we cannot understand what is Krishna. Sevanmukhi hi jivhado sameva spurattada. As Sri Krishna's namado, Krishna's name, form, quality, etc. is not understood by these blunt senses. So how it is to be done? The Sevanmukhe hi jivhado. Again jivhado, beginning from the tongue. Controlling the tongue. Just see, it is something peculiar, that you have to understand Krishna by controlling the tongue. This is something wonderful. How is that? I have to control my tongue to understand Krishna. But it is the Shastra injunction is there. Sevanmukhe hi jivhado. Jivha means tongue. So, in order to see Krishna, in order to understand Krishna, the first business is to control your tongue. Therefore, we say, don't take meat, don't take liquor, because it is controlling the tongue. The tongue is the most strong enemy as sense, as perverted sense. And these rascals, they say, no, you can eat whatever you like, it has nothing to do with religion. But Vedic Shastra says, you rascal, first of all control your tongue, then you can understand what is God. So this is called Vedic injunction. Perfect. If you control your tongue, then you control your belly, then you control your genital. Rupa Goswami gives instruction, Vacha Vigam, Kruda Vigam, Mudara Upastha Vigam, Manaso Vigam, Itan Vigan, Javishaita Dhira, Sa Prisiring Sasishyat. This is an instruction that anyone who has become competent to control the tongue, to control the mind, to control the anger, to control the belly and control the genital. If 6 kind of control is there, he is fit for becoming spiritual master. He can make disciples all over the world. And if you cannot control your tongue, if you control your anger, control your mental concoction, then how you can become even spiritual master? That is not possible. Prithiving Sasishya, one of these, that is called Goswami. Goswami or Swami. Master of the senses, master of controlling these 6 kinds. So beginning is the jiva. Sevanmukhe hi jivhado, sayameva spurattada. Seva. The tongue can be engaged in the service of the Lord. How? You chant Hare Krishna, always glorify, Vācāngsi Vaikuṇṭha Gunānuvarnani. Vācāngsi means talking. Talking is the business of tongue, and tasting is the business of tongue. So, you engage the tongue in the service of the Lord by glorifying. Whenever you take a vow that whenever I shall speak, I shall simply speak glorifying Krishna, nothing more. That is tongue control. If you don't allow your tongue to speak anything nonsense, grammo katha, we sometimes sit together, we talk so many nonsense. That should be controlled. Now I have engaged my tongue for the service of the Lord, so we shall not talk anything of sense gratification. This is controlling. I cannot eat anything which is not offered to Krishna. This is controlling the tongue. These are small techniques, but it has got great, great value, so that Krishna will be pleased, the austerity, and he will reveal. You cannot understand, you cannot see Krishna, you cannot order Krishna. Krishna, please come dancing with flute, I shall see you. This is order. Krishna is not subjected to your order. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives us an instruction. Āslisya bāpādaratāṁ pinastumāṁ marmāhatāṁ karotu va adarsana.
Lecture. And Prabhupada stressed here, Vijaya Pandit, control of the tongue. Because, yes, the material mind, when it speaks, reveals the mentality of that person in their words. So controlling the tongue is part of the process of conducting yourself as a gentleman in the Vaishnava system of this process that Prabhupada has given us. Prabhupada said, this earth is no place for a gentleman. So conduct ourselves as gentlemen, be careful what we say, and always take shelter of the devotees of the Lord who are committed to the mission of distributing Srimad Bhagavatam, the Dali Bhagavatams, to the conditioned souls that are lost in this material world. And we're going to go ahead with our next section, which is Yashodanandana. Prabhupada's going to chant. And by the way, everyone, please chant along. Don't be shy. Chant along. Don't be shy. And chant along with Prabhupada, like we always did in all those hundreds of programs we were with Prabhupada, personally with. It was just a wonder. I can barely speak it. It's going to affect me. It was just a wonderful, merciful opportunity that we all can now continue to experience, hearing Prabhupada speak and sing at this program. All glories to the Vani incarnation of Srila Prabhupada, the true representative of his guru, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and of the 6 Goswamis and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just think about it. Haribol.
Sai. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Jaya Radha Punya Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Ācārya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivas Adi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Sri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Giridham ki jai, Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Navadvip Dham ki jai, Swami Ito Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Ganga Mai ki jai, Jamuna Mai ki jai, Tulasi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Swami Ito Bhaktivinoda ki jai. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you very much.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord, Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. From Srimad Bhagavatam 1:1:1. Narayanam namaskrityam. Narayanam namaskrityam. Naram cheva narottamam. Naram cheva narottamam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayat. Tato Jayam Mudirayat. One should utter the means of conquest, Srimad Bhagavatam and Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, after offering respectful obeisances, one, to the personality of Godhead, Narayana, two, to the Narayana Rishi, who is the supermost human being, three, to the Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, then four, to Srila Vyasadeva, the author, from Srimad Bhagavatam 1-4. Welcome, everyone, to this reading and discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. This reading is being conducted on the basis of the original 1975 non-edited, non-adulterated original version, and all English synonyms, translations, and purports are from His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Ācārya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, also known as the Krishna Consciousness Movement. As we do every week, we will be reciting a few selected verses from the Adi Lila, chapter 1, from text 18 through 22, which explains the meaning and the benefit of hearing this supremely powerful transcendental literature. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Glory to Sri Chaitanya and Nityananda. Glory to Advaita Chandra, and glory to all the devotees of Sri Gaura, Lord Chaitanya. Etina Thakur Gaudiya Ke Kariye Chena Yatmasat. Etinera Charana Vandana Tere Morenat. These three deities of Vrindavana, Madan Mohan, Govinda, and Gopinatha, have absorbed the heart and soul of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, followers of Lord Chaitanya. I worship their lotus feet, for they are the lords of my heart. Grantera Rambikari Mangala Charana, Guru Vaishnava Bhagavantinera Smarana. In the beginning of this narration, simply by remembering the spiritual master, the devotees of the Lord, and the personality of Godhead, I have invoked their benedictions. Tinera Smaranayai Vigna Vinashana, Anayasayai Nijavanchita Purana. Such remembrance destroys all difficulties and very easily enables one to fulfill his own desires. Se mangala charanoi trivida prakar vastu nirdesha shirvada namaskara. The invocation involved three processes: defining the objective, offering benedictions, and offering obeisances. We will proceed with a reading this week. We are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, Chapter 6, text number 11. Sahaya karena tanralaya pradhan, koti brahmanda karena ichaya nirman. Sahaya karena, he helps. Tanra, his. Laya, with. Pradhana, the material energy. Koti brahmanda, millions of universes. Karena, does. Ichaya, only by the will. Nirmana, creation. He, translation by Srila Prabhupada. He, Advaita Ācārya, helps in the pastimes of the Purusha, with whose material energy and by whose will he creates innumerable universes. Text number 12. Jai Mangala Advaita, Mangala Gunadham, Mangala Charitra Sada, Mangala Yanranam, Jagat Mandala, all auspicious to the world. Advaita, Advaita Ācārya, Mangala Gunadham, the reservoir of all auspicious attributes. Mangala Charitra, all characteristics are auspicious. Sada, always. Mangala, auspicious. Yanranama, whose name? Translation. Sri Advaita Ācārya is all auspicious to the world, for he is a reservoir of all auspicious attributes. His characteristics, activities, and name are always auspicious. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Sri Advaita Prabhu is an incarnation of Mahavishnu. He is an Ācārya or teacher. All his activities and all the other activities of Vishnu are auspicious. Anyone who can view the all auspiciousness in the pastimes of Lord Vishnu also becomes auspicious simultaneously. Therefore, since Lord Vishnu is the fountainhead of auspiciousness, anyone who is attracted by the devotional service of Lord Vishnu can render the greatest service to human society. Rejected persons of the material world who refuse to understand pure devotional service as the eternal function of the living entities and as actual liberation of the living being from conditional life become bereft of all devotional service because of their poor fund of knowledge. In the teachings of Advaita Prabhu, there is no question of fruitive activities or impersonal liberation. Bewildered by the spell of material energy, however, persons who could not understand that Advaita Prabhu is none different from Vishnu wanted to follow him with their impersonal conceptions. The attempt of Advaita Prabhu to punish them is also auspicious. Lord Vishnu in his activities can bestow all good fortune directly and indirectly. In other words, being favored by Lord Vishnu and being punished by Lord Vishnu are one and the same, because all the activities of Vishnu are absolute. According to some, Mangala was another name of Advaita Prabhu. As the causal incarnation, or Lord Vishnu's incarnation for a particular occasion, is the supply agent or ingredient in material nature. However, he is never to be considered material. All his activities are spiritual, anyone who hears about and glorifies him becomes glorified himself. For such activities free one from all kinds of misfortune. One should not invest any material contamination or impersonalism in the Vishnu form. Everyone should try to understand the real identity of Lord Vishnu, for by such knowledge one can attain the highest stage of perfection. Text number 13. Koti amsha koti shakti koti avatar etalan srije purusha sakala samsar koti amsha, millions of part and parcels, koti shakti, millions and millions of energies, koti avatara, millions upon millions of incarnations, eta, all this, lana, taking, Srije, creates, Purusha, the original person, Mahavishnu, Sakala Samsara, all the material world, translation by Srila Prabhupada. Mahavishnu creates the entire material world with millions of his parts, energies, and incarnations. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Bhakti Siddhanta Shishyaya Bhakti Vedanta Namine Prasannaya Prashantaya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Bhagavad Vandana Kadyam Guru Vandana Purvakam Kshiram Sharkara Yuktam Kadatehi Visheshataha Adadana Danter Idam Yache Punaha Punaha Srimad Rupa Padam Bhoja Dulisyam Janma Janmani Amsho Bhagavato Smyaham Sadadaso Asmi Sarvata Tat Kripa Pikshaku Nityam Tat Prishta Sat Karomisvam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. As we continue this reading from Krishnadas Kaviraj, explaining the exalted position of Sri Advaita Ācārya and his transcendental activities, it's very important to understand his exalted position, because some of it is completely inconceivable. Recently, I was talking with Vijay Pandit Prabhu how some activities of Krishna are beyond the comprehension of the mundane mind in the material world. In the Mahabharata, there is a description, Achintyaha kalute bhava natam tarkena yojayet, that things which are inconceivable cannot be understood by material logic. And we were discussing how in the Brahma Samhita there is description, and also in the Srimad Bhagavatam, how all the universes are coming out from the pores of the skin of Mahavishnu, Karana Udakshaya Vishnu, who is resting in the ocean between the material and the spiritual world, called the Karana Jala, or the ocean Karana. One cannot materially understand how an entire universe comes from the pore and the breathing of Mahavishnu. It's inconceivable to understand this. Material scientists have difficulty understanding a few planets within this universe. What to speak of all the millions and billions of universes? So this is very important to understand, that we cannot speculate upon the activities and the greatness of Krishna. It's impossible. That's why Krishna, one of his names is called Achindya. One cannot conceive of the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Oh, thank you, Ram Raghava Prabhu. This is from a text of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 8, text 15. If you are indeed interested in logic and argument, kindly apply it to the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you do so, you will find it to be strikingly wonderful. Prabhupada explains in the purport, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura comments in this connection that people in general, in their narrow-minded conception of life, create many different types of humanitarian activities. But the humanitarian activities inaugurated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are different. For logicians who want to accept only that which is proven through logic and argument, it is a fact that without logic and reason, there can be no question of accepting the absolute truth. Unfortunately, when such logicians take to this path, without the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they remain on the platform of logic and argument and do not advance in spiritual life. However, if one is intelligent enough to apply his arguments and logic to the subtle understanding of the fundamental spiritual substance, he will be able to know that a poor fund of knowledge established on the basis of material logic cannot help one understand the absolute truth, which is beyond the reach of imperfect senses. The Mahabharata therefore says, Achintyaha kaluye bhava natam starkena yojayat. Mahabharata Bhishma Parva 5:22. How can that which is beyond the imagination or sensory speculation of mundane creatures be approached simply by logic? Logic and argument are very poor in spiritual strength and always imperfect when applied to spiritual understanding. By putting forward mundane logic, one frequently comes to the wrong conclusion regarding the absolute truth. And as a result of such a conclusion, one may fall down to accept a body like that of a jackal. So this is a very important point. It is enjoined by Krishnadas Kaviraj for people to utilize their intelligence, their sense of logic and argument, and apply it to the study of the science of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is very important. This is what Prabhupada came and distributed. When we carefully study how Prabhupada was preaching when he first came to New York in 1966, it was very systematic and very methodical, very simple also. Chant Hare Krishna, read Bhagavad Gita, offer your foodstuff to Krishna and take Mahaprasadam. But specifically when it came down to preaching, very simple. You're not the body. You are an eternal spirit soul. You are different than the super soul. You are one with the super soul in the sense that you are eternal. But just like it is said in the Katha Upanishad, Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam Eko Bahunam Yovidadati Kaman. He is the supreme eternal amongst all eternals, but he supplies all the necessities for all living entities. That is the difference between God and the living entities. This is very important because the Mayavadi philosophers try to equate the position of the living entities and the supreme entity, Krishna. But this can never be, because right in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 2, text 12, Krishna explains, Natvevahum jatunasam natvam neme janadipaha nacheva nabhavishyamaha sarvevayam mataparam. He's explaining to Arjuna, nor you, nor me, nor all these kings will ever be the same. We're all individual living beings. Now, this is quite significant. Here's the exact translation. Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. This is a clear explanation by Krishna that in the future you will not merge with Krishna. You will remain an individual personality. The false idea that the individual soul at the end of life merges with the Brahman, this is called Mayavad. This is a false interpretation. This is not accepted by all the great Vaishnavacharyas, such as Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Nimbarka, Vishnu Swami, Vallabhacharya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and so many of our Gaudiya-charya, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, our own Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. None of these great acharyas and hundreds of other Vaishnavacharyas never accepted the false proposition that the soul will merge with the super soul. This is confirmed in that verse of Bhagavad Gita. Nor at any time in the future shall you merge, because this is the eternal function of the living entity. And all these false conclusions have been arrived by false logic and argument. There's a description in the Padma Purana, Mayavadamasat-shastram prachannam bodham uchyate, Mayeva kalpitam devi kalo brahmana rupina. Some text it says kalo brahmana murtina. That in this age of Kali Yuga, there will appear an incarnation. This is from Lord Shiva to Parvati in the Padma Purana. That I shall come and incarnate as a Brahmana, referring to the Adi Shankaracharya. Okay. Lord Shiva informed Goddess Durga, the superintendent of the material world, in the age of Kali, I take the form of a Brahmana and explain the Vedas through false scriptures in an atheistic way similar to Buddhist philosophy. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. The word Brahmana Murtina in this verse refers to the founder of Mayavada philosophy, Shankaracharya, who was born in the Malabar district of South India. Mayavad philosophy states that the Supreme Lord, the living entities, and the cosmic manifestation are all transformations of the illusory energy. To support this atheistic theory, the Mayavadis cite false scriptures, which makes people bereft of transcendental knowledge and addicted to fruitive activities and mental speculation. This verse is a quotation from the Padma Purana Uttarakanda 25.7. It's interesting how the great Vaishnavacharyas, specifically in the Madhva Sampradaya, have analyzed all the writings of Shankaracharya and his subsequent followers and concluded that these people are just speaking a revised version of Buddhist philosophy, atheistic philosophy, in so many words, so much word jugglery. But the problem is that they don't accept Shankaracharya as a Vaishnava. Shankaracharya was a covered Vaishnava, and he proved that by writing the Govinda Stotra, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam Mudhamate, Samprapte Sannite Kale, Nahi Nahi Raksati Dukrin Karane. that don't waste your time with all this Sanskrit combination and word jugglery. Just worship Govinda, worship Govinda, worship Govinda. Are you really doing that? We had an interesting encounter one time in South India, where Guru Kripa Swami challenged one Mayavadi who had come with his big tilak across the head. He told him, what is that ash on your head? What is that mud on your head? Oh, this is the tree pundra. Oh, he says, no, no, no. If you're a follower of Ācārya and he tells you to worship Govinda, you have to wear this tilak, urdhva pundra, not this tree pundra. And the person was shocked. He says, well, are you following Bhaja Govinda or not? You cannot worship Govinda with this tree pundra. You should worship Govinda wearing this ekapundra, urdhva pundra. Interestingly, Sanatan Goswami and Gopal Bhatta Goswami in Hari Bhakti Vilas, in their massive book, have quoted a verse from the Agni Purana. It says, when one worships Lord Vishnu, he should always wear the Urdhva Pundra. That's why all the Vaishnavas, they wear the Urdhva Pundra, not the Tri Pundra, 3 lines across. Very significant. Anyway, it's important to note that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu refuted this philosophy by saying, Mayavadi oi Krishna aparadi, that the Mayavadis are offenders against Lord Krishna. And if one hears their bogus philosophy, Mayavadi Bhashya Shunade oi Sarvanash, everything will be finished. Spiritual life will be completely finished. Very important point. Thank you very much. Back to you in the studio. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Yashodanandana Prabhu, that you were mentioning that, because we have a situation where Prabhupada is saying that these so-called spiritualists, the Mayavadis, are actually atheists. They're atheistic because they do not believe that God exists. They believe that they are impersonal parts of God, with no form and no identity. It's all just one great big light. But they are totally atheistic. And people that propagate this type of philosophy are very dangerous. And we should avoid them, as we read earlier, in all circumstances. Avoid them. Because a devotee is simply a servant of Krishna and his spiritual master. And that is personal philosophy. The energy that we possess is to be dovetailed in the service of our spiritual master and the mission of Lord Chaitanya. And in this way, you can go back to Godhead. It's that simple. All this philosophy, you could quote 1,000 verses. People may not understand it, but they can understand one thing, their constitutional position. And what is that position? Jivara Swarupa Hoy, we are the servants of God. We're insignificant specks in this universe. But if we learn by association from a pure devotee how to serve the mission that he has created and how to serve the mission of his spiritual master, you'll be successful. Here's the example, Jayananda. Think about it. Was he a person that had all kinds of verses? No. Was he a person that was anxious to get up and speak in the public? No, actually, he was reluctant to. He was very shy. But was he the first one to jump to the platform of devotional service and engage in doing whatever was needful to please his guru? Yes. There's a saying, Yashodanandana, actions always speak louder than words. Actions. And, you quote this often for us, you can judge an action by its results. Yes, you can. Like in our particular group, for example, we have about 50 new bhaktas. Did you know that? At least 50, maybe 150. But they haven't yet reported their commitment. But it's coming. Is it a lot? 1 is better than 2, 2 is better than 3, and I'll go on. If you can just find one sincere person, one, if you can find one Italian that's sincere and take up the mission, is that a success? When you don't have one, when you get to 2, or when you have 1, you don't have 2, that's a giant success. Or 3, or 4, or 5, or 6. Actions speak louder than words. Philosophy, that's fine. If you have to be convinced, then we have philosophy. But people that are pious, like for example, Prabhupada talks about women. Women. Yes, well, there's lots of discussion about ladies. But sincere ladies, they automatically accept easily the service of Krishna just by a brief explanation. It could happen in just a few sentences. Oh yes, I get it. That's it. Not all this up and down Mayavadi discussion back and forth. Okay, go on, you can carry on with that. But time is of the essence. The more we take up this process and work cooperatively, the better everyone will be individually in this journey back home, back to God. And we're going to move to our next section of the discussion, which is our living guru. And this is a very important section because Yashodanandana Prabhu is going to further explain the importance of the difference between Vani and Vapu. Yes, go ahead, Yashoda, please.
.3 Question, but even though someone follows a guru who is still materially conditioned, shouldn't we let the follower worship that guru as liberated and spiritually pure? Why break the follower's faith? Isn't it true that guru is one? Answer, Srila Prabhupada remarks, if one tries to mingle the worship of Yogamaya, the pure spiritual reality, with Mahamaya, material illusion, considering them one and the same, he does not show very high intelligence. The idea that everything is one is indulged in by those with less brain substance. Fools and rascals say that the worship of Yogamaya and Mahamaya is the same. This conclusion is simply the result of mental speculation, and it has no practical effect. From Madhya Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 8, text 90. Intermingling the spiritual with the material causes one to look on transcendence as material and mundane as spiritual. This is all due to a poor fund of knowledge. From Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 16, text 72. The living guru advocates permit, indeed they may vehemently insist, that the aspirants think of a materially still conditioned person as an eternally liberated preceptor guru. So in trying to mingle the worship of Srila Prabhupada, the pure spiritual reality, with the worship of those who are partly or sometimes very blatantly of the material illusion, the living guru's advocates betrayed their actual level of intelligence. Srila Prabhupada explains in a Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 24, text 330 of Madhya Lila, why the spiritual master is worship as good as God. The guru must be situated on the topmost platform of devotional service. When one has attained the topmost perfection of Mahabhagavata, he's to be worshipped as a guru and worship exactly like Hari, the personality of Godhead. 2.4, but in the Vedic scriptures, don't we find examples of liberated souls who seem to display material conditioning? Answer, seeming and being are, of course, two different things. As we are aware, the Vedic scriptures sing of the liberated eternal preceptor guru's character, his spiritual purity. On the other hand, the living gurus fallen early into embarrassing manifestations of material conditioning or impurity, have strained to explain it all away by singing of the eternal preceptor's alleged character lapses. For example, in their August 1980 GBC report, in an attempt to explain some deviant behaviors of some of the living gurus, their advocates allege, quote, even Bhishmadev, who was one of the great Mahajans or authorities in understanding Krishna consciousness, was affected by this materialistic association of women and money. If even Bhishmadev can be affected by materialistic association, then what to speak of ourselves, unquote. Lest we be misled, Srila Prabhupada certified Bhishma's absolutely liberated status. Quote, Sri Bhishma Deva is a great devotee of the Lord in the relation of servitorship, an eternally pure relationship with God. Srimad Bhagavatam 1:934. Quote, as a Mahajan or authority, he was on level of Brahma, Narada, and Shiva, although he was a human being. Qualification on a par with the great demigods is possible only by attainment of spiritual perfection, from Srimad Bhagavatam 1:934. Back to you in the studio. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. We're going to go to a section here just quickly and have Yashodanandana answer this question from our godbrother. It's a very interesting question about results. He's saying how to draw a line between we are not attached to results. No, of people doesn't matter. No number of people doesn't matter. I think that's what he's saying. And results determine the quality of some work. Very interesting. I'll have a comment after. Go ahead, Yashoda. You follow that question?
Prabhupada used to recommend that people dedicate their whole life to Krishna, think of Krishna 24-hour a day. But we do know in the material world, due to conditioning, that many people cannot do this 24 hours a day. So therefore, what we have is a situation where people are encouraged to give up the result of their hard-earned money or work and to engage the result of that work for Krishna, to become eventually detached. Because if one does not do that, it's very difficult to make advancement. One becomes further and further attached. So the line to be drawn is everything should be used for Krishna. We have an interesting story of when we first went to South India and Bangalore. We approached some of the big silk merchants in Bangalore, and one time we had a silk merchant telling us, well, because it was well known that he was one of the wealthiest persons in the city of Bangalore. And we got to his office at about 8:30, 8:40 at night, and he was due to close his shop, his very large display of silk, at about 9 o'clock. So we sat with him and he told us, well, everything is locked up in a safe, Swamiji. It means very difficult because we're all almost closed. And I mentioned to him, well, you can release him. You can release the money if you want. It's up to you. It's not very difficult. All you have to do is open the safe. When Prabhupada heard that story, he says, what you should tell these people is Krishna does not look so much how much you give. He looks how much you are keeping for yourself. So it was a very good argument from Srila Prabhupada. In other words, Prabhupada was encouraging people to engage these people in some kind of service to Krishna, knowing very well that people with wife and children and job and businesses are not going to give up everything overnight. But if they can give some of their hard-earned wealth for Krishna, it will be to their eternal benefit. So this is the point. There is a line that we're not supposed to be attached to the results, and at the same time, we should encourage people to give up some of these results for the satisfaction of Krishna. And this will be beneficial for anybody who engages in that service, just like Prabhupada started a life membership program in India to engage people in giving some of their wealth for the pursuit of preaching of the Krishna consciousness movement. He engaged devotees in book distribution to engage people in some way or other getting connection with the teachings of Krishna through the words of the pure devotee. And this will help people to make some advancement. That's all I can say for now. I hope it helps. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Just a brief comment. When you go out to search for gold, do you look for 8-karat gold, 10-karat gold, 24-karat gold? Well, an intelligent person looks for the real gold. So results. People think that if they build a temple, that's a result. If they get followers who do not know the philosophy, but they get a job, oh yeah, they get a job, then that's success. That's material success. Everybody's looking for a job. And if you can get one in some societies, you'll get it, and you'll get numbers. Yeah, you can pay them, you can feed them, you can house them. They've got facility. Is that success? Real success is understanding this philosophy properly, not being confused. Personally, I would sooner have 10, 30, 40, 50 qualified, pure servants of Prabhupada than 5,000 people who have no idea why they're serving. It's no value to me. Most teams, they look for quality people, not quantity. Well, everybody wants to play, but only a few people are qualified. Real success is association with good devotees. That's what this is about. So don't worry about it. By the way, whoever you are, VPD or whatever, you can call me anytime. It's more of a discussion, some advice, some common sense to help others understand what is really going on. Sorry, Yashoda, I apologize. You go to the temples in America nowadays, we have far more new devotees than any of them. Far more than any of them. You go to a Srimad Bhagavatam class in some of these temples, there's nobody there. Just a guy speaking to the wall by himself. Okay, that's all right, at least he's trying. These temples have become Hinduized. It's a big difference nowadays. I see a question from our friend Vijaya Pandit, I believe. Is that your question on the chat? Could you read it out? And you showed us right there, but he can answer it. Go ahead. Go ahead, read it out, Vijay Pandit. Microphone for him, please.
My question is, how about, sorry. Sorry. I have to. Yes. Yes, I have a question for regarding your reading from the Nectar of Instruction. Question is, committing 50% to Krishna consciousness, 25% to the relatives, and so on, means that after the head of the family has paid the rent for the apartment, bought food for the whole month, paid the bills and all other expenses involved in maintaining the family, children, school, etc. And from what remains, then offer 50% to Sri Krishna, 25% to the family, etc. Is it like this that we have to understand it?
So the question is to whom?
Yashoda, it's for you.
Okay, well, the reality is that in the context of modern civilization, especially those people who live in cities, in large cities in Europe, America, Australia, New Zealand, this kind of proposition may be very difficult. The whole solution is make your house into a temple and everything will be dedicated to the service of Krishna. That is the point. I mean, the situation with Rupa Goswami in 1500s when they met Lord Chaitanya and surrendered, and Prabhupada commented about this, that one should offer 50% of his wealth. But the reality is that if one does that, he may not be able to live. That's the situation. So one make his house into a temple and dedicate everything related to the expenses for the service of Krishna. That's a simple solution.
Okay, now I'm going to give a brief explanation. When you look at money, you have to pay for what you receive as services in this society. That's reality. If people are confused about that, then they'll find out if they don't pay, they'll be on the street living in a park. So obviously, the way you do it is this. You pay your bills. You take care of your bills. And if you have any money left over, if you can save some money, go ahead. It's more complicated than just simple mathematics of past years. There's a difference in 2025 from the 15th century. It's very different. And if you want to ask some advice, call me up. Call me up. I know about money. I've made a lot of money and I've lost a lot of money. That's how you win. Someone said Yashoda recently to me. He said, when do you learn the most about money? And he answered, when you lose it. It's the losers that learn. When you don't have money, then you learn what to do with money. Working with money is an art. Lakshmi Devi. And it requires common sense and people who are experienced on how to win and lose in life. And we do. Well, someone could say, well, you got a lot of nerve. I'm a certain age, a certain experience. I may not have all the answers, but I'll help you. And if people want to hear, they're welcome. If they don't, then find somebody else. Go to your accountant. Figure it out. Okay, thank you very much. Now we're going to move to the next section of the program. Ram Raghava, go ahead. Where are we?
This is another excerpt, continued lecture from Srila Prabhupada in 1973 in London. And this one's about 6 minutes, and it's called, There is no more better worship than what was conceived by the gopis.
Let's go. Roll that, please.
Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam.
Adarsana. Everyone wants to see Krishna devotee. But if pure devotee says that, no, if you don't like to see me, that's all right. You can break my heart. I may always pray to see you, but you do not come and break my heart. That is also accepted. Still I shall worship you. This is pure devotion. Not that I have asked Krishna to come before me dancing. He did not come. Well, you have Krishna. The Krishna consciousness movement is nowhere. Not like that. This is Radharani's attitude. So Krishna left Vrindavan. All the gopis, they passed that day simply crying for Krishna, but never condemned Krishna. Whenever somebody came, Krishna also was thinking of them, because gopis are the greatest devotees, topmost devotees. There is no comparison with the devotion of the gopis. Therefore Krishna was always obliged to them. Krishna said to the gopis, that you have to be satisfied with your own business. I cannot return you anything for your love. Krishna, the Supreme, the All-Powerful, he was unable to repay the debts for the gopis. The gopis, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Ramma Kachid Upasana Brajavadhu Varga Bhija Kulpita. There is no more better worship than what was conceived by the gopis. So gopis are the topmost devotees. And amongst the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the topmost. Therefore, Srimati Radharani is greater than Krishna. So this is Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. It requires time. So the activities of Krishna, the rascal, if they simply see that Krishna is enticing Arjuna to fight, therefore Krishna is immoral. That means wrong vision. You have to see Krishna with separate eyes. Therefore Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma me dibbam. Dibbam. These transcendental activities of Krishna, if anyone can understand, simply, if anyone can understand, then he becomes liberated immediately. Liberated. Not liberated ordinary liberation, but for going back to home, back to God. Takta dehang punarjanma naiti mamiti kaunta. The greatest liberation. There are different types of liberation also. Sahajujya, Sarukpa, Shasti, Shalokka, Sahajujya. 5 kinds of liberation. The Sahajujya means to merge into the existence, Brahma Lord. That is also liberation. The Mayavadis or the Jnani Sampradaya, they want to merge into the existence, Brahma existence. That is also mukti. That is called Sahajujya mukti. But for a devotee, this Sahajujya mukti is just like hell. Koi vallam narakayate. For Vaishnava, koi vallam to monism, to merge into the existence of the Supreme, is compared with hell. Koi vallam narakayate. Tidasapura akasha puspayate. And the Kurmis, Jnanis are anxious to merge into the existence of the Brahma effulgence. And the Kurmis, their highest aim is how to be elevated in the higher planetary system, Sargulok, where Lord Indra is there, or Brahma is there. That is Kurmis' ambition, to go to the heaven. They all accept Vaishnava philosophy in all other literature, all other scripture, means Christian or Mohammedan. Their aim is how to be elevated to the heaven.
The aim is to follow the process. Whatever process you're following, do it to your best of your ability. That is the principle. And the highest principle is to take shelter of Prabhupada and serve him with your total devotion and commitment. And this way, you'll go back home, back to Godhead. We're going to go forward with our next section, which is the reading of the 10 offenses, I believe, and then the japa class.
That's correct.
Thank you. Haribo.
Nectar of Devotion, Chapter 8, Offenses to be Avoided. The offenses against the chanting of the holy name are as follows. First, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Second, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. Sometimes the atheistic class of men take it that any demigod is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. But one who is a devotee knows that no demigod, however great he may be, is independently as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, if someone thinks that he can chant Kali, Kali or Durga, Durga, and it is the same as Hare Krishna, that is the greatest offense. Third, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. Fourth, to blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version. Fifth, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. Sixth, to give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord. Seventh, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord. Because by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can be freed from all kinds of sinful reactions. It should not be taken that one may continue to act sinfully and after that chant Hare Krishna to neutralize his sins. Such a dangerous mentality is very offensive and should be avoided. 8th, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities. Karma Kanda. 9th, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Anyone can take part in chanting the holy name of the Lord, but in the beginning one should not be instructed about the transcendental potency of the Lord. Those who are too sinful cannot appreciate the transcendental glories of the Lord, and therefore it is better not to instruct them in this matter. 10th, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names, and to maintain material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Radha Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare
Let us offer our respectful obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnava devotees. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances. We all offer our respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and who are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Thanks, everybody, for participating in this discussion and reading. Thanks, Vishwakarma Prabhu in Yautepec, Mexico, Rochisa Devi Mataji dans la belle province de Québec, Ram Radhagava in Georgia, Viprahita Prabhu and Rashikeshwari Mataji in Georgia as well, Vijay Pandit right here in Twinehart, California, and Michael Dillon in Yuba City, California, Bhakta Vinay in South India, Shyamasundar Prabhu, the Samosa King in Australia, Bhakta Roy in Mississippi, Krishna Kata in San Diego, and then the one and only Rupa Goswami Prabhu in Mumbai, India, and VPD, whoever you are, maybe is that Shreya or somebody, wherever you are, welcome to the program. Please join us Saturday morning at 7 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time, corresponding to 10 a.m. Eastern Coast Time, for another lively reading and discussion from Bhagavad Gita as it is. Back to you in the studio. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna, glories to Srila Prabhupada. Let's carry on. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Play that bass, chant your bodies. Don't be shy, chant along, chant along.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,